Good morning everyone. Welcome to the video tutorial of class 6 science. So students, today we will be doing chapter number 6 of your NCERT book, that is changes around us. Okay, this is a very easy chapter of your NCERT book, but you have to do one thing, that you have to watch the video till the end, and I assure you that you will understand this chapter completely. Okay, so let's begin this chapter. Change is a continuous process. It is the law of nature, and changes takes place around us every time. So let's take the examples of some common changes. All of us born as a small baby. Then our body grows, our weight increase, our height increase, and after passing all stage of life we finally reach to the old stage. And throughout the whole life our nails and our hair grows. Okay, so what kind of change is this? This is change in size. Similar is the case with plants and animals also. A small seed which we sow in soil is turned into a huge plant or a huge tree. So what kind of change is this? This is a change in size. Okay, the summers are really hot whereas the winters are cold. So what kind of change is this? This is a change in temperature. In fact, the change in temperature is observed on day-to-day basis. Some days are really hot whereas others are not. Some days are hot whereas the nights are cold. All the planets of our solar system are continuously revolving around the sun. We know that very well, right? So what kind of change is this? This is the change in position. They are continuously change their position. Okay, so during the sunset or sunrise the color of the sky is somewhat like this, yellowish in color, right? But it appears to be blue during the day and it appears to be black during the night. So what kind of change is this? This is the change in color which we observed on daily basis. If we keep water for boiling for some time, so after some time the liquid or the water turns into vapors. Okay, whereas if we keep the ice out of the fridge for some time, so it start melting. Okay, so what is happening here? In this case the liquid is changing into gaseous state or in water vapor. Okay, whereas in this case the solid substance is changing into liquid state. So what kind of change is this? This is the change in state of matter. So can we group or classify these changes? Is there any similarity between these changes? Yes. These changes are of many types, like physical and chemical changes, slow and fast changes, periodic and non-periodic changes, and reversible and irreversible changes. And there is some similarity between these changes, okay, which we will discuss later on. So first of all we will discuss about the reversible and irreversible changes. So first of all we will discuss about the reversible changes. So reversible changes are the changes that can be reversed. Okay, as the name suggests, the changes that can be reversed, and we can obtain the changed substance in its original form. Okay, so let's take some examples. So we have a piece of paper here and we made a boat of it. Okay, so this piece of paper was the original substance and we made a paper boat of it, so this is a changed substance. Okay, now I want my paper back. Okay, so it means now I want my original substance back. So can I get it back? Yes, I have to just unfold this paper boat and I will get my paper back. Okay, it will be a little crushed up, but I will get my paper back. Okay, so the process in which we get the original substance back from the changed substance, that is known as a reversible process. Okay, so let's take one more example. Again we have a piece of paper and we just crushed it up. Okay, can I get this paper back? Yes, I have to just unfold this paper and we get back the original substance. Okay, it will be little crushed up, but we get the original substance back. So the process in which the change can be reversed are known as reversible changes. Okay, so now next are irreversible changes. Changes that cannot be reversed are known as irreversible changes. Okay, here the change is permanent and you cannot get back the original substance. So irreversible changes are the opposite of reversible changes. Here we cannot get back the original substance. Okay, here the change is permanent, whereas in reversible changes the change is temporary. Now we will look at some examples. Okay, here we have a piece of paper. This is the original substance from which we made a boat. Okay, but now we put this boat or this paper on fire. So in this case the paper is turned into ash and produce smoke. Okay, so this is the changed substance. So from this changed substance, can I get back this paper? Obviously no, I cannot get back this paper because I have just burnt it. So the process by which we cannot get the original substance back is known as irreversible changes or irreversible process. So I hope you have understood the difference between the reversible and irreversible changes. In irreversible changes, the change is temporary and we get back the original substance, whereas in irreversible changes the change is permanent and we cannot get the original substance back. Okay, so this is the difference between the reversible and irreversible changes. Now we will take some examples of reversible and irreversible changes and you have to tell me that whether the change is reversible or irreversible. Okay, so let's take a look on our first example and you have to tell me that whether the change is permanent or reversible or the irreversible. Okay, so on a hot summer day my ice cream has started melting. Okay, so it started melting. So can I get back the original substance? Yes or no? Yes, I just have to freeze this ice cream again and I will get it back. I have to put this ice cream in the fridge and I will get back the original state of this ice cream. Okay, so what type of change is this? This is a reversible change. Okay, because here the change is temporary. Okay, so I have made the chapatis from this dough and I want the original substance back. Means I want the dough back. I have already made the chapatis and I want the dough back. So can I get it back? Obviously no. So this is a irreversible change. Here I cannot get back the original substance. That is why this is known as a irreversible change. Okay, so now we start collected inflating balloons for the party. But now the party is over and we want to save some balloons. So what we have to do? Can we get back the original substance from these inflating balloons? Yes. What we have to do? We have to just escape the air out of the balloons and we will get it back. So this is a reversible change. Okay. Let's take one more example. Alright. So I purchased a pencil and an eraser from the market, and after using for some days, the pencil gets shorter and the eraser is also got smaller. So I want the original pencil and eraser back. Can I get it back? Obviously no. So this is an irreversible change because here I cannot get back the original substance. Okay, so this is an irreversible change. So what do you think? What kind of change is freezing? The water has freezed in the ice cubes. Can we get back the original water? Yes, we can. What we have to do, we have to just take it out from the refrigerator and keep it at normal temperature, and after some time we get back the water again. So this is an reversible change. We made juice from these oranges. So can I get back the juice? Sorry, can I get back the oranges? Obviously no. We cannot get back the oranges. So this is an irreversible change. So we made curd out of milk. Can we get back the milk now? It is also a irreversible change because we cannot get back the milk again. So we have mixed sugar in water. Now we want the sugar back. Can we get it back? Just think about it. We have learned this in chapter 5, separation of substances. Yes, we get the sugar back by the process of evaporation. We have learned this in a chapter number 5, that is separation of substances. So this is an reversible change. So you have made some food items by using these ingredients. So can you get back these ingredients after making these food items? No. So this is also an irreversible change. So here we made some dough, started rolling dough balls, and we have just made or started rolling chapatis on these chakla with the help of belan. But we didn't like the shape of the chapati and we want the dough balls back. So can we get it back? We have just rolled the chapatis and we have not made as of now. So can we get back the dough balls? Yes. So this is also an example of reversible change. Alright, so what we think, ripening of fruit is reversible or irreversible change? Can you get back the original raw fruit when the original fruit has ripened? No, never. So it is an irreversible change. So now we have looked at numbers of examples of reversible and irreversible change. So now I believe that you have completely understood the difference between the irreversible and reversible changes. So now we have to study about expansion and contraction. Okay. So now let's see what is an expansion. When an object is heated, it increases in size or it expands, and this is called as expansion. Whereas the decrease in size of an object on cooling is known as contraction. So when we heat an object, it increases in size. Okay, it expands, so this is known as expansion. And when we cool the same object, so it decreases in size, and the process is known as contraction. So now we know that expansion occurs on heating, whereas contraction occurs on cooling. Now you must be wondering about that we were studying about reversible and irreversible changes. So why all of a sudden we started to study about expansion and contraction? There is a reason behind this. Okay, because as we all know that the expansion on heating is an reversible change. As we all know that any object, if we heat any object, so it increases in size or it expands. Okay, and if we decrease the, or if we reduce the temperature, or if we cool the substance, so what will happen? It will automatically contract. Okay, so expansion is a reversible process. So now we will take a look on some examples where expansion and contraction are using on everyday life. So here we have some soil digging tools. These are the soil digging tools, and they are used in agriculture for digging the soil. So these iron tools and these wooden rods are made separately. Okay, and after that they are joined together to make these digging tools. Okay, now we will study that how the expansion and contraction work in fixing these iron blades and these handles. So can you see the ring that is present in the iron blade? This ring which is present in the iron blade is made slightly smaller in size than the wooden handle. The diameter of these ring is made slightly smaller than the diameter of the wooden handle. Okay, and when we want to fix the handle, this iron ring is heated. So what will happen after heating? On heating, the ring expands, and after expansion the handle will easily fit in the ring. So on heating, the ring expands and the handle fits easily in the ring, and when the ring cools down, it contracts. So after cooling, what will happen? The contraction take place, and after contraction the ring fixes tightly to the handle. So this is how the expansion and contraction works. So I think you have completely understood about contraction and expansion. So now let's move forward. So now the next is how the metal rim fixed on the wooden wheel. Okay, here the metal rim is made slightly smaller than the wooden wheel. This metal rim is made slightly smaller than the wooden wheel, and on heating, what will happen? The expansion take place and the rim expands, and after expansion its size increase and it easily fit onto the wheel. Okay, so here the expansion works, and after that we pour some cold water over the rim, and due to this cold water the rim contracts. Okay, and due to the contraction the size of the wheel reduces, and the rim then fits tightly on the wheel. So this is how the metal rim fix on the wooden wheel. So we can bring change in a substance by applying force, by heating, or by changing temperature, or by mixing it with some other substances, or by applying force. So these are the ways by which we can bring change in a substance. Okay, so this is all about the reversible and irreversible changes and expansion and contraction. Now we will move forward. So the next type of changes are slow changes. Okay, slow and fast changes. So first of all we will discuss about the slow changes, and after that we will discuss about the fast changes. So these are the kind of changes that will happen over a long period of time slowly. So those changes which take place at a very slow rate, they are known as slow changes, as the name suggests. Okay, so for instance, a boy becoming a man is an example of the slow change, as it happens over the years. As we all know that we all born as a baby, and after passing all the stages we reach to an old stage, but this will take a lot of time, and over so many, it will take so many years. Okay, so this change will happen at a very slow rate. That is why this is known as a slow change. Okay, now the next type of change is fast change. As the name suggests, these changes occur at a very fast rate. Okay, so the fast changes are those changes that occur at a very fast rate. For example, burning of paper, blowing of balloon, bursting of crackers, etc. So these are the examples of fast change. So there are two types of changes, more slow change and fast change. So first of all we have discussed about reversible and irreversible change. Now the next are slow change and fast change. Slow change occur at a very slow rate, and the fast change occur at a very fast rate. The examples of fast change are burning of paper, blowing of balloon, bursting of crackers, and the example of slow change are growth of a plant, growth of human beings, or the ripening of fruits. These all are the examples of slow change. Now the next type of changes are periodic and non-periodic change. Now the next type of changes are periodic changes. So the changes which occur periodically at regular intervals of time are known as periodic changes, which repeatedly occur at the regular interval of time. For example, the day and night, they occur at regular interval of time. Phases of the moon, they also occur at regular interval of time. Beating of heartbeat, clock striking an hour. So these are the examples of periodic changes. Day and night, they also occur at a regular interval of time or the regular period of time. Phases of the moon, they are also periodic change. Pendulum of a clock or the striking of the clock, that is also an example of periodic change. Change in season also, they also occur periodically. And the beating of heartbeat. Okay, so all these are the examples of the periodic change. Now next are the non-periodic changes. So the changes which do not occur at a fixed or regular interval of time, as the name suggests, they are non-periodic. So they do not occur at a fixed or the regular interval of time, they are known as non-periodic changes. For example, eruption of volcanoes, earthquakes, forest fire, these are the examples of non-periodic changes. Eruption of volcanoes, this is a non-periodic change. We do not know that when the volcano erupt, nobody can predict about it, so this is a non-periodic change. Forest fire, we cannot predict about this also, so this is also a non-periodic change. Earthquake also, we cannot predict about the earthquake, so that is why they all are non-periodic changes. They occur at a non-regular interval of time. Okay, these changes can occur at any time and at any place. That is why they are known as non-periodic changes. Now the next type of changes are physical change and chemical change. Physical changes. So changes in which the physical properties of a substance undergo any changes are called physical changes. So the changes in which the physical properties of a substance change, they are known as physical change. In a physical change, properties such as size, shape and state of the substance changes, but no new substance is formed. So in a physical change, size of an object changes, shape can also change, state of the substance also changes, but no new substance is formed. So this is known as a physical change. For example, if we cut a paper into bits, the bits would still be of paper. So here this boy has cut the paper into bits, but these bits are still be of paper. So there is no change in the physical property. The size, shape of this paper changes, but no chemical change or the no new substance is formed. So these physical changes are sometimes reversible, sometimes they are non-reversible, but physical changes may be reversible. Okay, another example of the physical change is the melting of ice. Suppose we have kept the ice out of the fridge at room temperature for some time, so this ice will turn into water, but we can change the state of matter again into ice. After keeping this water again in the fridge, we can get the ice back. So this is the physical change. Okay, so this is about the physical change. Now next is chemical change. Changes in which the chemical composition of a substance is changed. So the chemical change are the changes in which the original substance changes into a new substance which cannot be recovered. So the chemical change is a change in which the new substance is formed. Okay, for example, if we burn a paper, it will turn into ashes, which is altogether a different substance. So the chemical change is a change in which the chemical composition of a substance changes. So here if we burn a paper, so its chemical composition changes, it now turn into ashes. Okay, which is totally a different substance. So chemical changes are the irreversible changes, because here we cannot get back the paper again. So this is a chemical change. There are so many examples of physical and chemical changes. So these are the examples of physical change: melting of ice, stretching a rubber band, folding a cloth, cutting of a tree, inflation of tires. All these are the example of physical changes where the physical property changes, the size, shape can change, but no new substance is formed here. Okay, so these are the examples of physical changes. Now let's take a look on the examples of chemical changes. The examples are the curdling of milk. Here totally the new substance is formed, the milk is converted into curd and we cannot get back the milk. Okay, we cannot get the milk back, that is why this is a chemical change. Next is the cooking of egg omelette. Here we cannot get the egg back, the original egg back, so this is also a chemical change. Digestion of food is also a chemical change. Rusting of iron, burning of paper, all these are the examples of chemical change. So now we have discussed about reversible and irreversible change, physical and chemical change, slow and fast change, and periodic and non-periodic change. So I hope you have understood this chapter. This is a very simple chapter, but you have to do one thing, that you have to watch the video till the end. Okay, so I hope you have understood all these changes very well. Thank you and see you in the next video.